Well, clinical trials are an important step in discovering new treatments for a variety of medical issues. It involves providing medical strategies in a safe environment. But what exactly does that mean for the patients who are participating? CENTEX Studies in Lake Charles is enrolling patients in clinical studies, and we've got Lewis Charles along with Alexis Neighbors joining us to tell us a little bit more about this, because it's something we've heard about, and I don't think we've really had that opportunity in the area too much.
That's true. There's a few people who do clinical trials, but not a whole lot.
Okay, so what is a clinical trial? What does that exactly mean?
It really breaks down to getting data from the patient from different means. Could be a patient diary, could be from the lab work during a visit, and the pharmaceutical companies use that data to present their drug to the FDA to try and get it approved.
All right. So is this a safe process for the people involved?
Oh, very much so, particularly with CENTEX, because we do phase 3 studies 95% of the time. There are 4 phases to a clinical trial.
Okay.
And the first phase are the first humans taking the medication. That's why we don't do phase 1 studies.
All right.
So by the time someone comes to us and they're involved in one of our studies, they have, or the public has received thousands of doses of that particular medication.
Okay, and Alexis, you've actually done this before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us what your experience was like. What's it like to go through a clinical study? What do you do?
The patient comes in and we get their list of medications that they take. We get their medical history and we go through a screening phase called inclusion-exclusion, where we ask questions to see if they are a good fit for the study. And if they pass that part, we go on to draw their labs, do an EKG, get their vitals, and then they get a physical exam by our doctor.
Okay, and then you try the medicine. Do you have to stay on site? Do you go home? Is it a few hours, or what's the time frame?
All trials are different. We have one trial where after they're dosed, we have to observe them for an hour. Some of the oral medications that they take home, they take at home and they don't have to be observed. Okay. Every trial is so different.
A little bit different. And is a doctor involved in this whole process?
Oh, yes. Our main principal investigator is Dr. Mike Seep, and we work with Dr. Carl Neighbors, Josh Watley, Dr. Adiason, and we're just getting ready to start some female health trials, and Dr. Stanley Cordish will be working with us.
Okay. Now, we know obviously that there's some benefit to the public, because this is how new drugs get approved and get on the market so people can use them for the things that they may need. But what's the benefit to the people that get involved in the trial?
Good question. The patient has no cost whatsoever to them for the study. No insurance, no out-of-pocket at all. They actually receive a stipend for their time and their travel. The medications are free, and you're getting more diagnostic studies during a clinical trial than you would during your normal health care that you would receive, because you get blood drawn at every visit, EKGs. If it's a COPD trial, you might have a pulmonary function test done. So
you're keeping really good track of their health while they're with you.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so what studies are going on coming up? What's enrolling right now?
Well, we've got a COPD study, an overactive bladder study. We've got a study for people with low back pain, a study for osteoarthritis of the hip or knee causing pain. We have one for constipation, and we've got several more coming up. Some in the future. In the very near future will be a low testosterone study, which includes overnight stays for the guys. They will be actually staying in our facility for 24 hours.
But you can see how comfortable it looks in there. It looks great.
Yeah. Most of them prefer to stay in the loungers instead of the beds, because the loungers are very comfortable. Anyway, we've also got uterine fibroids coming up with the women's health issues, and a contraception trial.
Okay, so if you want to find out more about the studies that are coming up, or if you just want to find out, maybe you have one of these things and you want to be involved, just call the phone number.
That's all you have to do, and we'll walk you through the process from there and get your information from your physician and such.
All right. This is really interesting, very new to the area, so if you're interested in finding out more about what's going on at CENTEX Studies, just give them a call and they'd be happy to get you involved. Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
All right, well, after